does your preschool host an orientation, some sort of informal time for children to get to know the preschool space, either at the beginning of the school year, as we're thinking about end of August, September activities, or as they join the program? And if you do this orientation, what are you thinking about as you design it? Who is it for? Hello, I am Nicole Trevillis-Frabel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And today I want to talk a little bit about how important orientation can be, especially if your program is somewhat outside of the mainstream, like a nature-based or an outdoor program. Because, yes, orientation is for the children, but it can also be beneficial for parents and families and for the teachers. And so let's talk a little bit about the children. I think when children have a chance to explore a new environment alongside somebody they already trust, right? An adult they already know who cares about them, like their parent or another trusted family member, it can ease their transition into that environment when they do have a time when they are tackling it on their own, right? So orientation is a really important time for children to get to know the school, to explore the location, to get to know the teachers, to get to know some other children, maybe make a few friends before they start, to understand some of the routines that are going to happen so that they know what to expect on that first day when they are by themselves. But I also think that orientation is important for parents. Um, Especially, like I said, if you are doing something a little bit out of the ordinary. It may not be the picture of what school looks like in the parents' minds. And so this is a really good time for you to introduce parents to your school's philosophy, for them to understand how interactions with children are going to happen, for them to understand some of the routines and procedures that their children will be doing throughout the day, for them to understand a little bit about how you look at the education of young children, right? And what is important in your program. And that way, you and the families will be in a better position to support each other uh, as you are together educating the child. I also think this is an important time to take care of like logistical matters, right? To make sure that every child's paperwork is in order and have the parent do a little paperwork check. Make sure they have all of their extra dry clothing in their cubbies. Make sure parents understand, right, what to pack in the child's backpack on the first day and what not to. And I also encourage parents to take their first day pictures on orientation day, especially if they're going to want a first day picture with the teacher. Getting rid of all of these or getting to all of these logistics ahead of time is going to free up both the teachers and the parents to focus on the child on that first day and giving them whatever support they need to separate, to transition into class. And also, right, this benefits the teacher because one, we've taken care of some of those logistics and freed up our time so we're not running in 20 different directions while trying to help a child that might be upset because their parent has left. And I think it also gives teachers a little chance to get to know the children, to know what each particular child might need on that first day, or to know what their interests are, right? So that you can have books prepared that makes that child comfortable, or you can have some memory of something you played together during orientation that makes the child feel a little bit more comfortable in your space. So I try to make sure that the orientation and all of the activities that we're doing really matches our school day. And like I said, the reason for that is to help the children feel comfortable, right? They can back up and say, oh yeah, I already did that. So I completely know what's going on. And to give the parents a flavor of, what kind of interactions are going to happen with my child when I'm not here. And so I have, our outdoor set up exactly like it would be on the first day, and the children are and the parents as they come in um, have that free play, open play time. So we have the mud kitchen set up, we have the easel, we have the garden gate open so that they can go and explore the garden. um, I usually do have some kind of open-ended activities set up with little direction sheets from the parents. I find that parents feel a little bit more comfortable with a little bit of direction. They are not tied to that. And I do generally tell the parents, right? There are little hints for you next to the table, but you and your child are welcome to explore in whatever way that you want to, whatever way makes sense to you. And one of the things that we usually have set up is an art activity. And for the past few years, it has been the book Only One You. I think it's Krantz is the author, Linda Krantz. We have that book set up, and it's about a unique fish. And so then we have river rocks set up, and everybody, parents included, right? You can tell this was not a 3-year-old who painted this river rock. This one, maybe. And acrylic paints set out so that all family members can decorate a rock, and then we add them to our rock garden. And we have a rock garden setting the entryway to the school. And it kind of, everybody's encouraged to leave a piece of them. We add to it year after year. Children are welcome to take a rock home, bring more that they made from home. We do kind of encourage and take one out, put at least one back in. But it's not a big deal. And it's kind of our living artwork throughout the year that they've already made a piece of, right? And become part of our community on the very first day. And then another thing that I have been doing, way back since when I had an indoor kindergarten, always have done a scavenger hunt. Now, when it was indoors, the scavenger hunt was designed so that children could find what interests them and find the important things in the classroom. So it might say, find a doll that is wearing a red dress. Find your favorite color of crayon. Find the bathroom and count how many toilets there are. So again, the idea is, will they know where the important parts of the classroom are? Find the calm down corner. When we transition to outside, the scavenger hunt is more to set up the philosophy here. And so it's kind of an adventure scavenger hunt. So it encourages families to, find something that's flying in the air, or make a sound. Can you make a sound with a blade of grass? What animal can you pretend to be? Are you pretending to be the same animal? Figure out your favorite way to get up and down the hill. Right? Is it walking? Is it running? Is it rolling? And so we just kind of have them have an exploration time in the same way that we will be doing it in the classroom, where I have, very open-ended activities, and some things are just there, like the easel is always there. And some things might be a little bit more set up, like provocations for the children. And then after some length of time, you can decide, we're doing this exploration time for 45 minutes, or you can just open-ended with it, when it looks like most everybody has explored to the point that they want to explore, or everybody's done the provocations, whatever it is. Then we move on to a group time. And this is for everybody. So it's kind of like a parent-child story time. But the idea, again, is that I am setting everybody up for success for the school year. So I'm going to run a group time very similar to how that group time is going to be during their first time back, that first day of school. And so I always start with a welcome song. And then I always follow that up with some sort of movement song. Right? And that song is going to be the same exact song that I do that whole first week of school. That way the children are going in and saying, well, I know this. I know the welcome song. I know this movement activity. I'm going to be successful here. I already know what's going on. Right? Letting them feel comfortable. And then I usually read some sort of story. It can be a first day of school type of story. It can be a nature story. Kind of know your group personality, and just I would be careful here to make sure that you don't set people up. I think a lot of our back to school books are dealing with anxieties, right? And that's fine, right? And children may have anxieties about school, but you want to try not to tell them that they have to have anxiety, right? Like, don't give them that idea if that wasn't what they were thinking about. And then after a story, just kind of how I would do it in our regular school day, we talk about the plan for the rest of the day. Hey, here's what's going to happen. Here's what we have set out. Here's what you may want to play with. Here are your choices. Here's, what are you thinking you might want to do? And then I set the children up, but, while you are playing with, this teacher, who you've already met and while you were exploring, the parents and I are going to go elsewhere. You won't see us for a little bit, but we're still going to be here at school. So nobody's completely leaving. You just won't see us for a short amount of time. And I'm going to talk about boring things with your parents, right? So this gives the children and the parents a chance to practice that transition of the parents leaving. And it gives the children a really short amount of time, right? I'm only going to talk to the parents for 15, 20 minutes. And then the parents are going to come back. So the children get this idea, oh yeah, my parents are coming back. That was a short amount of time. I can totally handle this, right? And then I do go elsewhere and I talk to the parents about boring things, right? The procedures, what they should make sure their child has on the first day of school, right? Here's how we're going to handle birthdays. Here's how you should contact the school during the day. All of that important information that I'm sure is in your family handbook, but that you want to reiterate in another way, right? Some people are visual learners, some people are oral learners. And so you're just going to cover that really quickly, make sure that you answer any parent questions. And then we head back and parents reunite with their children. And they are welcome to hang out. Again, you can leave this as open-ended as you want, right? Feel free to hang out until noon and then bye, or feel free to hang out for as long as you like. I mean, people do generally, parents have to get back to work. They have places to go. And so people don't generally hang out for, more than 20 minutes longer, half an hour. So I hope this gives you some ideas, and I hope that you will do an orientation as you're thinking about setting up the school year, because I think it's just invaluable for children, for parents, for teachers to have that really relaxed time to get to know each other. And then I will see you here next week when we're going to continue to talk a little bit more about parents and helping them transition into a nature-based program. I will see you there.